Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drops. I'm recording this on, what day is it? Thursday, October 6th. It's going out, I think it's going out on Friday. It'll be the 7th, so I don't think anything new will happen. Maybe it will. Who knows? It'll their stream. But we are like 2 weeks and change out from the transmission of the power of the Doctor. And there has been no official promotion from the BBC. This is somewhat unprecedented. I think it is. It's really weird, isn't it? It is really, really weird. I mean, it's not really weird. Well, it's not really weird because it's awful. It's obviously awful, and they're embarrassed the hell out of it. I mean, I have heard from a couple insiders at the BBC are very concerned. Well, the BBC said it was the bestest ever. Oh yeah, Doctor Who in the best shape editorially ever, said Piers Wenger after season 11. They've been tearing their hair out because it's been flushed down the toilet in private, apparently. But you know, so they're a bit famished that this is going to be an embarrassing disaster. How they're famished about it or surprised is beyond me. I mean, really? How did you think this was going to work out? When Chris Chibnall had failed completely, he said, oh, yes, well, you know, maybe he just needed a bit of a run-up. Maybe he needed a couple of years to run up to be able to really knock it out of the park. Isn't I've done 9 episodes, Chris. It's bizarre. It's just totally bizarre. Anyway, finally, a bit of promotion came out in the form of this month's SFX magazine. Let me just pull that up. It's, yeah. Now, it was obviously supposed to come out last month and have a Doctor Who cover, and they were pissed as anything. They didn't get the material to release it. So now it's kind of like shoved in towards the back, and it doesn't fit the issue at all. This is a Halloween issue. And they really have nothing but disdain from it. It's really all I can tell. I mean, look, they need to fill a few pages, but they really have nothing but disdain for it. Again, much like the BBC, it's, again, why would they think they would be proud of this? Why would they think this wouldn't be crushingly embarrassing? Because they're morons, right? You want to know the real problem? They went to Oxbridge or whatever university. They're very educated people, and they're freaking clueless morons. Yeah, people think that if you have higher education, you are more intelligent. No, you are not. As Piers Wenger, you know, best shape editorially ever. Really, Piers? Really? It seems like it's in the shit to me. And it seems like that's what the BBC thinks. But again, you know, if you're an overeducated moron that's had your whole life getting participation trophies and terrified of the idea of hearing it wrong, and they are, that is their biggest overwhelming fear of hearing that wrong, and that's always been something with the BBC. That's just stretched out to the, you know, an entire generation now. They don't really know what to do. They don't really know what to do. So again, this really should have been the cover of SFX, and boy, the disdain they have for it is reasonably clear. I haven't read the article yet. We're going to read it together. Before we get into it, like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are fan-dabby and double-dozy. Fan-dabby, double-dozy. Thank you very much. Sign up to my Substack. Sign up to my paid Substack. And I've really got to send something out there today. I've been saying this for ages. Got to send something out today. But I also got to watch Andor, God, which means I've got to try and keep awake somehow so I can do a review of it. Oh, that's such a boring show. How do you make a show with, like, Star Wars, you know, with all that IP, with all those resources? It looks gorgeous with a fantastic cast, and it is boring as hell. At least it's not embarrassing, I guess, like Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who, which is very, very embarrassing, as I said. So like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are very, very, very good. Thank you very much. Definitely subscribe. Yeah, again, my subs nearly got to 3,500 again. I think there's some kind of invisible barrier, right, that stops it. It just goes up, and I don't know what to tell you, mate. So like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things will be fantastic, super fantastic. Is there anything else? I think that's it. I think I covered everything. Oh, comment. Yeah, I knew there was something out there. Let me know what you think. Yeah, comments are a good thing. Fine, let's get to this article. Doing, and again, very clearly was meant to be the cover last month, and they didn't get the what's it called again? They didn't get the material from the BBC, and they were pissed. So the article was called "The Sisterhood of the Travelling was it traveling box? I mean, they couldn't even go for blue box, really. Oh God, Janet's undeserved confident smirk there. Really, Janet? Really? Do you really think this is going to work out well for you? Christian has an ace up his sleeve for the Doctor Who Centenary Special, and an argumentative Aussie too. Yeah, look, the ace up your sleeve was a line from Battlefield, which was rather good, okay? Let's read this. Nothing lasts forever. Well, I have to tell you, this era of Doctor Who, to me, seems like it's lasted for freaking ever. I can move this over. There you go. Seems like it lasted for absolute ever. Really? I mean, like, it just never, ever dies. It keeps going. Oh, so awful. It's so genuinely awful. Nothing lasts. Oh, yes, because we're quoting the ridiculous, what was her name again? Barbara Friend, great actress. She was playing Tectoon, wasn't she? Or, well, she had another stupid name that nobody cared about. Right? I don't know. Oh, no, it's not that. That was Time. This was the great villain Time, who dispatched the great villain. What's it called again? Swarm. Do you remember when before Flux came out and said, oh, Swarm, that's going to be Sontarans, Weeping Angels, what's the name of the thing? I can't remember. Master is the M, and what was it? Who cares? It wasn't anything. It was much more boring than that. Why is it much more boring than that? It was written by Christian. But nothing lasts forever, Doctor. Beware your foes and their master. Or is that a spoiler? Nobody gives a shit, okay? No one gives a shit. I have to tell it. No one. Genuinely, no one gives a shit. Soon the era of the 13th Doctor and producer Christian will draw to a close. Doctor Who fans across the world, the 17 of them left, rejoice, right? In the power of the Doctor. The featurette Doctor Who special that marks 100 years of the BBC. 100 years of BBC and about 7 years of fucking everything up. Right? I think it's a much more apt description. I mean, listen, I was very sad at the passing of the Queen. At least she won't have to be around to see this direct being transmitted. It's a story that will only feature the Doctor. Will not only feature Doctor regeneration, but also include Flux's Vinder. Oh, Vinder! Oh, it's so exciting. The guy from Game of Thrones, who didn't have a dick. That guy. Okay, who ended up being sort of being in love with. What's her name again? Emmanuel. She was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And you're like saying that guy's got no dick. That seems bit of a waste, really. Bradley Walsh's Graham. Oh, he's confirmed. I didn't know it was confirmed. Lone Sideman Ashad. Ozhat, so we should call him. The Daleks and Sasha Dewan's master. Okay, fine. Yeah, and also whatever else they can put in, right? I'm pretty sure Sylvester McCoy sort of confirmed he's in it as well. Probably Peter Davison. The spoilers I read the other day was that there's a weird power comes out of the Doctor, and she splits into more than one version of the Doctor, so you get like the 7th Doctor come back, but he's aged as if he was as old as if he never regenerated. So that's how I explain the aging, I guess. Is that real? I don't know. Maybe. But none of the above, not even the prospect of regeneration entity blasting with Jodie Whittaker's coat sleeves is what really set fandom abuzz. No, because nobody gives a shit about it. You're right. No one gives a shit about this thing. It's what's really set fandom above. It's the result of 80s companion Ace, who's got that, you look back at some of the time when she goes, Ace! It's really cool, little bit cringe, right? It's a little bit, it's like the BBC in the 80s when they tried to do Street. It's, what was it? It was The Young Ones, right? When they did a takeoff of Grange Hill. And they said, oh, please, sir, we're the only people in the school kids in the country. And then it cut off. It's very, very BBC Street. And revealed the teaser trailer in The Legend of the Sea Devils. Again, 2.5 weeks of transmission. Not a dicky bird, right? This is crazy. right? This is really genuine. Are they going to get any trailer? Or is it dated really? Maybe won't get a trailer at all. That would be funny. Because nothing says success other than that, really. It's a turn event, but also there's rumors that Joe Martin's going to regenerate into the First Doctor, and who gives a shit? I mean, really? I do, because this is great for my channel. It gives me great content, and it's giving me stuff I can take the piss out of, which is great for me. Okay, great for me, but this is the end of the era. Right, the time of being able to take the piss out of Doctor Who is fast coming to an end, which I'm quite happy about, actually. It's a turn of events, which means a great deal to old school fans. No, it doesn't. But also to the actors. They never quite left the characters behind, of course. They've all recorded numbers of audios for Big Finish, I guess. And I was going to say, I guess, because I think BBC Books maybe as well. Aldred even co-wrote a novel recently at Children's End, in which a mature ace meets 13. So, when... oh boy, sorry, I just got an alert, an email just came in that my synagogue has sent out a something that they got a search committee for a new rabbi. No, that always works out badly, okay? Stop, okay? Please don't get a new rabbi. Oh, the last one was, listen, I'm a bit of a reviewer, okay? Awful. As bad as you can possibly get without eating children, right? Yeah, I think that's a fair review. As bad as you can get without actually eating children. Maybe he ate children too. I don't know. I wasn't there at the time. Sorry, I was distracted there by real life. But none of the Legend of Sea Devils. It's a ton of events with me. Okay, no, it doesn't. Nobody gives a shit. Both are recorded numerous audio event, Children's End, yes. So Chris Chibnall says, so what do you think Ace has been up to? She was in a book with Jodie. What, you couldn't get one of your interns to read the Wikipedia notes on it and find out? No. Okay, everything about this production is lazy and useless. Really, you couldn't get an intern to read the bloody Wikipedia and then come in like you were interested in the character and knew what you were doing. No, couldn't do that. Of course not. This time, this is prime time BBC One. Oh, prime time embarrassment. Question is it going to go before or after Quickly Come Dancing? Strictly Come Dancing. That ends at 7, which means ends at 8, which means it won't be over till 9:30. Sucks for me. It's 11:30 for me. Please be before Strictly, okay? So if Strictly's on at 7, I believe, so it'll be 5:30 to 7. That's actually a good time for it. That is actually the best time to schedule it. You keep it away from adults. They don't really sit. They're busy doing other things. And your teeny tiny kiddie market might maybe maybe the ones that will give you a couple of 100,000 views. I don't know. I have to. I had a revelation recently, right? When I had my one left-wing friend came over for a meal over the Jewish New Year. It's a thing, you invite people around for meals. I don't talk about politics with them because it hasn't worked out well, right? Biden hasn't really worked out well. Everything's a disaster, right? So I don't want to rub their face in it, right? Because I don't want to be a dick. I don't really need to be a dick. I enjoy being a dick sometimes, but I quite like these people. There's absolutely no reason for it whatsoever. Anyway, but they were like... this is the problem about being entrapped in corporate media news, right? So they're like, oh, don't you think it's funny? People are upset about there being a black little mermaid. and so I was like, really? No one's upset about there being a black little mermaid. What they were upset about, well, there's a few things. Firstly, do you think it's for black people, the black little mermaid? Do you think that was for black people? No. It's for rich, predominantly white people. It's for the Martha's Vineyard crowd, right? So they can feel good about themselves that there's a black Little Mermaid. They're not going to watch it. They don't give a crap about it. But that's the mentality behind this entire production of Doctor Who. They don't really give a shit about it, right? They just want to be stunning and brave. Say, oh, look at us, we're so great, we are so fantastic. We hired a woman to be Doctor Who. Not that she had any aptitude for it whatsoever, right? And it wasn't for get little girls watching. It was for those same liberal, predominantly white people, the Guardian readers of the world, the BBC, in other words, who want to feel good about themselves. It's pure narcissism, isn't it? I got a call out the blue from my agent. She said, and she said, Doctor Who casting director Andy Pryor have been asking for availability of you, Aldred. So are we talking about Sophie Aldred here? I think I should be talking about Sophie Aldred. Okay. Firstly, I'm reasonably surprised she still has an agent. Really? But okay. By the way, I heard that Jodie Whittaker has just signed to a new agency. Oh. Or was she dropped by her agency and signed to it? I don't know. Aldred check with you. Aldred tells SFX, remember the fateful day last summer I came off the phone and burst into tears. Well, okay, we don't have to take the job if we don't want to. I think it was what I've always been waiting for somehow, weirdly. If you think being in this Doctor Who is what you've been waiting for somehow, weirdly, you're a little bit disconnected from from the realities of the current Doctor Who. I think that's what I was about. Weirdly, it wasn't conscious, but it was there because we never knew what happened to Aish when she walked off into a bush. Do you not remember recording all those audios or writing that book? Right? You don't remember any of that. I can understand a normie, right, who doesn't know about your characters, and I'll be quite impressed if they knew about Ace at all, or they just wandered off into a bush, as you said. Okay, but it's your character, and you actually wrote the book. We know what happened. Okay, whatever. She was the Seventh Doctor voiceover at the end of Survival, the final story of the original series. Somewhere the T's gonna go. Come on, Ace, we got work to do. It was great, little. I ran on the back of a cigarette packet from what I remember on napkin or something. But nice little speech that. Well, I've been ready to do the work. So it really wasn't emotional, actually. What? Well, I've been ready to do the work, so it wasn't. So it was really emotional. That makes much more sense. It was really okay. Janet thought process a little different. I hate Doctor Who, Cobber. Don't go and do Doctor Who, Paul McGann. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and again, I loved the complete undeserved confidence. I mean, let's have a little zoom in at Janet's little face here. I mean, look at this completely undeserved confident smirk. Yeah. Oh yes, sisters are doing it for themselves. What are they doing? They're fucking up Doctor Who. Is what they're doing, apparently. Okay. For themselves. Yay! Emancipation. Jennifer was slightly different. Was a little different because she walked away from acting in the early 90s. I honestly, I think you did too, Soph. Okay, I haven't seen you in that many things. Moving behind the scenes, become an agent. I said, sure, absolutely. I didn't think too much about it. I heard nothing for 6 weeks. I thought, oh well. Then I got a call from Chris, and it was all systems go. And suddenly, I assume Chris is your agent. And again, that you have an agent, I find strange. Then I started to think about it and go, holy moly, it's been 35 years since I've had to learn lines or been in front of a camera. Darling, let's be fair. The bar wasn't that high when you were doing it professionally, right? It wasn't that high. But okay, so fine. And look, Whittaker is tiny. That she towers over both Janet and Soph. Like, what is this? The Attack of the Hobbits? What's going on? All right. Fine. I see they got a bit of baseball bat action going there. And she looks better there in than I've seen her in the other pictures. She looks more human being esque. Right. So let's see what this is. TARDIS Data File. Ace Dorothy McShane. Place of origin Perivale Earth. Companion of Seventh Doctor. Former occupation waitress. Waitress on on an ice planet. Excuse me. Skills, homemade explosives, the catapult, acting, all seductive to distract soldiers. That was weird. That didn't really work. That was weird. Listen, Nicola Bryant wants to do that speech. That might get my attention, darling. Weakness, inability to remember the doctor's name. Oh, yeah, called him Professor. Professor? Memorable moment, beating up a darling with a supercharged baseball bat. Yes. That's why we have this. Yes, it's karaoke. Well, what watching is Doctor Who karaoke. Likely to say, wicked! Yes, I know, it's a little cringe. Don't borrow her deodorant. Yes, you may die. Although, okay, why was the deodorant, what was it, the cream, the whipped cream in a can, right? Do they still have that? I don't know. You put whipped cream on something. You could put whipped cream on many things. Let me tell you, it could be a lot of fun. Not for all the family though. At least I wouldn't recommend it for all the family. Anyway, that's what the Nitro 9 containers were, not deodorant. Why don't they just go buy packets of deodorant? Many things I don't understand. This is just another one of them. Okay. As I sorry, it's been a long time as an actor, a long time. It's like muscle memory, all that stuff. Again, Janet Darling. It's not like you were really a major thesp. Now was it? It's like I liken it to driving a car. If you haven't driven for a few years, when you get back initially, there's all the coordination, moving your marks, saying your line, dealing with the props. You don't do that when you're driving. And your fellow actors' performances that are coming towards you. Okay. I think that's a fair way of describing Jodie Whittaker's performance. It's coming towards me! It's going to eat me! No! You got to try and remember how all those coordinates together, how to coordinate that in your brain. Okay. So did she get through filming without moving anyone down mowing anyone down with a metaphorical car? I think she lost. I'll know when I see it. Yeah, and there's a reason why they're hiding it, right? Again, 2 weeks, nothing. No, I mean, we got to get a trailer this weekend. Really? Wouldn't it be weird if we didn't? Nobody wants a chilled out Tegan. She's there to kick against the pricks. Darling, you're the prick now, I'm afraid. Yeah, there is no white male patriarchy. It's just, you're a weird old woman. The duo's continuation... Oh, one second. Did I skip a bit? No, the duo's continuation was... much more substantial than a mere cameo. It was over 6 weeks. Blimey. Fielding Claros. I mean, I wasn't by any means filming every day, but it was over a period of 6 weeks. Okay, so I wonder how much filming she did. That sounds like a lot. And again, to really place all your hopes on a retired actress who wasn't very good to start with, it's a bit weird, isn't it? It's a bit weird. But again, you just want people to watch. I get it. Order recalls thinking that maybe I don't want to do a cameo. When she initially spoke with the showrunner, I was thinking, is this going to be a watered down version? Also, we've got to fit in Dalek, Cyberman, Master, and another companion. Oh, I wonder who that is. And I thought, there's a lot to get in 90 minutes. Well, again, if you're holding your breath for competency from Chris Chibnall, that might be a mistake, right? That might be what we call an own goal, right? Don't expect that. So I thought, I really hope Ace gets a good stab at this, and I was really pleased with the outcome. I can honestly say that Chris did Ace proud. I can honestly say you're delusional, darling. There's no way. There's what? He suddenly worked out how to write, like, just now? I mean, like, no, forget those last 3 years of direct. Now we're going to make it good. No, not at all. I'm saying sorry. So what came up in those initial conversations about the character? Again, you couldn't have got an intern to read the Wikipedia synopsis of the sodding book. Really? And what they might have been doing in all those years since parting ways with the Doctor. Well, just look at the bloody season 26 Blu-ray commercial. That tells you. The Doctor's always been putting positive values into whatever stuff he finds himself in, and that was something she would have learned with him, says Fielding. Okay. I think, let me turn the page 1 second. I think, therefore I am. It's like a who's who of the worst of Doctor Who. I mean, it is so bizarre. Oh yes, BBC. Yes, let's. I mean, you gave the sodding budget to Criminal. Not like I don't want to tell you, crazy people. Do you want to, how does the sentence start again? 1 second. I think Tegan would have tried to go back to her old job for a little bit and just gone, no, I can't do this anymore. My feeling was that she became involved in charitable work. Who, Tegan or Ace? I'm confused now. The two converse in the trailer suggesting an existing relationship. Perhaps they were contacted by via charitable sphere. In 2010, a Sarah Jane Adventure story revealed that Sarah Jane's Googling had led her to a woman called Tegan in Australia, fighting for Aboriginal rights. Yes, they have too many bloody abos. Get them in their place, Cobber. Wouldn't that be funny if that's what it turned out it was me? Too many bloody Aboriginal bloody rights, mate. Yeah, okay, Janet, okay. Which you really do get a feeling she could go off and be bonkers like that sometimes. And Dorothy something that runs a company, Charitable Worth. Ooh. What do those initial letters spell out? Could it be Ace? She's raised billions. Well, ecky thump. No jacket required. Well, you are wearing a jacket in the picture, darling. Aldred ran with this take on Ace's future in her novel, and then donned a smart suit to embody it for the trailer season 26 Blu-ray box set. So again, what are we going? Oh, what are you going to be doing? Okay. That was my leap-off point. Says Aldred. And when I met the wonderful Ray Holman costume designer, I'll delighted because he'd exactly the same take on my idea. He probably read the Wikipedia of your sodding book, darling, right, and had a rough idea what he was doing. Anyway, what Ace would be wearing. That suit was from the trailer of the Blu-ray. It's been 33 years since we saw Aldrid's streetwise teenager explosive experts, and 38 since we saw Tegan weary of witnessing the death and destruction that and ran off into the Docklers. By the way, Big Finish last month released a thing called Doctor Who 40, celebrating the fifth Doctor's 40th anniversary. It was a second box set, 40 Volume 2. There's a continuity stuff to 40 Volume 1, which is kind of important, but not really, that you can work out pretty quickly. Excellent story, but leads directly into Resurrection of the Daleks. As it is a great autumn story. That's a real strong recommend. If you like the era, I can't recommend it strongly enough. I mean, I probably could recommend it stronger, but I'm not going to. Okay, I think it's worth buying. Okay, that's as strong as a recommendation you're going to get. I mean, assuming you like the Fifth Doctor, or Doctor Who. Where are we up to? I think fans would really have been disappointed if she said, "Oh no, I missed a bit." Doctors, people can change over several decades, becoming less adventurous, less fiery. So how do these more mature women compare to the characters we know? Has Tegan once described herself as just a mouth on legs mellowed? I think fans have been really disappointed if she had filled and says nobody wants a chilled out Tegan. Well, maybe Tegan does. She's there to kick against the pricks, as the biblical quote has it. What Bible would you have, darling? I'm quite knowledgeable about the Bible. It's a bit like all of us, really, Aldred says, thoughtfully. Well, it's a bit like all of us. Okay, just a bit. Don't we develop a personality by age of 3 or something like that, but then we've shaped her by experiences? I can see that by 2025 I become a person I am now. I'm supposed to pretend to be grown up. Well, you do kind of grow. I mean, that's a good thing, right? It's not a bad thing to become more mature. That's good. In my estimation. I think there's an intrinsic part to the character that is Ace. There may be an initial veneer or something that's a bit more sophisticated. I wouldn't think so. But underneath it is just like life. We're all the same people. You feel like the same, but I think our experiences do somewhat colour our judgments. One way of underlying the aceness looks to manifest itself is the readiness for a rumble. Rumble! Anyone tragic enough to have paused every single frame of the trailer, like we did, will have spotted a Dalek exploding in a shower of sparks and a figure wearing a coat covered in patches. Well, I didn't see that, but I don't really care. Yes, of course it's going to be like Doctor Who karaoke, right? Do you remember how well that went down in Star Trek Into Darkness? No, you don't remember, because nobody remembers Star Trek Into Darkness because of the piece of shit, basically. With Ace's iconic bomber jacket, it's a genuine article, still Aldred's ownership today. Good, they didn't need to buy a new one. Back in the day, producer John Nathan Turner, at the end of filming, said Sylvester and me, you might as well take your costumes with you because you're probably going to be asked to do personal appearances before next season. Aldred recalls. I kind of wonder whether he knew it wasn't going to happen and wanted us to be the guardians of the costumes. I bet so, all right? Look, John Nathan Turner comes in for a lot of stick. Like, a lot of stick. And a lot of stuff he did wasn't great, let's be fair. But, so much brilliance as well. Like, I was just looking at I can't remember, they were like the publicity pictures for the 5 Doctors. And it's got the Tom Baker waxwork in there. There we go. It's a bit of fan lore. Oh, Tom Baker's waxwork. It was brilliant. What a brilliant idea, right? To get a picture of all 5 Doctors together. I mean, it really, really was a brilliant, brilliant idea. And I think that was Tom Baker when he was really firing. Not Tom Baker. John Nathan Turner was firing on all cylinders. I just wish he left with Peter Davison. Man, his life would have been so much better. And Michael Grade, you should have moved him to light entertainment, right? You found a way of doing that. And you would have had a much better staff, right? What can you do? Anyway. I took my jacket and it sat in the wardrobe for all these years. Oh, really? I thought you used it every now and again. When I had that initial meeting with Chris, I said, I've still got the jacket. And he gasped and said, have you? Okay. The things that he's fascinated and amazed about. You have the jacket. I mean, God, he's so boring. Man, he makes an episode of Andor look interesting. I've still got the jacket. He said, have you? And I took the jacket down to filming in Cardiff. Ray Hoffman says, can we borrow this to copy? I said, why copy it? We'll just use the jacket. That's absolutely... Hey, well done. You might have to sew badges on again, though, because the badges are notoriously always fell off. We glued them on. I had sticking plasters on the back of my jacket, and they put them on with nylon see-through thread, so they didn't. And they still fall off. Okay, most people can keep their badges on the jacket. It's weird. Anyway, that's what he did. I don't think there's any way you could spruce it up really, because you can't watch it or anything because it must be smelly. You were holding it. You were wearing it. I like. What do you think, Ethan? Do you think? Oh, I don't know. I've just written a book about it, but I don't really know. Does this jacket smell? I don't know. I had it in my closet. I'm wearing it. I never washed it. I don't know. Are you inside your head? I mean, I don't understand. Are you a third person watching your life through some kind of monitor? It's really weird, Soph, darling. It's really strange. Squinting at the moment, that brings to mind a classic Ace Dalek face-off in '88's Remembrance of Daleks, combined with the sight of the Sisters in Arms packing oversized guns. That looked really bad. Okay, the trailer, that looked really bad. It suggests the special is pretty action-packed, and I think full of plot holes that doesn't make any sense. Security protocols are so strict we half expect to see a sniper's red dot over the actor's forehead, but we can see. Can we see anything about the story? Bing, 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 Fielding says. There's a lot crammed into 90 minutes. Well, at least hopefully it'll keep me awake. Please, okay? Can we get from 5:30 to 7? That'd be great. Oh, that'd be so good for me. Yeah, that would really make my life easier. To do the initial review. It's full on action for 90 minutes. Very exciting. No, it's not. Again, you have a normie look at something and they don't know what they're looking at, and they say they know what they're looking at, even though they have no clue, right? With complete confidence. And if you tell them anything, they'll just say, "Oh, why are you lecturing me?" It's a grand, vast story, says Aldred. It's got the Dalek, Cybermen, and Master and two companions from the past. I don't know how he's crammed everything into it, really. Well, again, this is just to avoid people noticing that it's unwatchable garbage, right? Let's have a look at the TARDIS fact file for Tegan Javanka. Place of origin, Brisbane, Australia. Companion of the 4th Doctor briefly, 5th Doctor. Occupation, air stewardess. Well, she did mention it once or twice. Skills, arguing the Charleston Aboriginal languages. Really? Pointing out exits. Okay, that's fair. Weaknesses, possession by the Mara. Telling Cyber Leader you won't like Earth when you won't like Earth when it starts going rusty. Likely to say rabbits. That was a bit weird, but yes. Don't get on her bad side when she's Mardy. Oh, bloody hell! They use the word Mardy once in Doctor Who. Now they can't stop. By the way, this top picture with Yaz, Sophie, Janet, Kate Lethbridge-Stewart, and the Doctor. Russell T Davies took the piss out of it, an Instagram post, I think, saying that he these are people lining up to see the power of the Doctor, and there's only 4 of them. Go, roll up for your tickets. It sounds like a pretty sizable action component is partly Aldridge's doing. I want to show the women of a certain age are still visible. You're visible, but you're old bloody women. Oh, God, is there anything being visible and being able to fire a gun? Because you look ridiculous firing those guns, darling. That we've actually still got. I wanted to show women of my age can still be as feisty and fit a gung-ho as ever. You can't! Oh, my God. I mean, what's that movie that just came out that flopped? The Woman King, right? And it was like, oh, you're all racist and sexist because you don't want to... No, it just looks like shit, right? I'm sorry. I understand you want to say gender is fluid and there's no masculinity or femininity. It's all the same. Everything is the same, right? You want to scream. It doesn't work, right? Action adventure normally works with blokes. It's hardwired into us as a species. You can do it with women sometimes. If you make it the norm, it looks ridiculous. How do I know it looks ridiculous? Because I've seen Star Trek Discovery, okay? And that looks ridiculous. Seems like the same line of thinking that seen Lyndall Hamilton and Jamie Lee Curtis kicking ass in the 60s. Yeah, definitely, says Aldrin. Listen, okay. Jamie Lee Curtis can do whatever she wants. Why? Because she showed me her boobs in Trading Places, and they were perfect, right? Absolutely perfect. That gives you license to make any piece of shit you want, darling. I don't care. Sophie, mate, you haven't earned the Jamie Lee Curtis level, right? And let's be fair, Linda Hamilton. It was James Cameron that made those movies, not Linda Cameron. You could have put anybody in there, she would have done the trick. I do like the idea of being an action hero if you want, but some people don't want to be like that. But that's definitely Ace does. I know that. Okay, that's with Ace. I believe you, right? So we can expect to see both women throwing themselves around. Put it this way. There was a moment where I was telling somebody else on set what I said to Chris Chibnall was, I love running and jumping. Running and jumping and the stunts just as much as I ever did. I don't remember that many stunts you did, quite frankly. And Janet, who is still standing next to me, she does the Australian accent. Oh, thanks a bunch. So that's why we're having to do that. Yeah, again, Karen humor, right? Karen humor. That might do indeed. There might be part of the scenario. Fielding says tight-lipped. It's not a very intrinsic part. Aldred explains. The master is also very important to the plot. Oh, okay, good for him. It's not really the past from Tegan or Ace's point of view. Why not? They said they haven't travelled the Doctor for 30 years. That's called the past, right? Working with Sasha One must have been a rather different from working with Anthony Ainley. Well, Anthony Ainley was bent as a dog's back leg. There was that, and having sex with Adric. Matthew Waterhouse. I mean, yeah, that may, and also Sasha One's master calls themselves the Master. And also they're about as bonkers as each other, right? Working with must have been definitely Anthony Ainley, who played the villain this time or throughout the 80s. We suggest, well, Anthony was from a different era, really, says Fielding, because his father was a big deal actor. Was it Henry Ainley? Was a huge star, so he connects back to the early days of the 20th century, where Sasha's a very modern actor. Oh, you mean the dead one's older? Okay, good. Yeah, again, this sort of insight, right? This sort of meticulous insight is what made Tegan so great. 100%. Order was equally. Was it? I missed the line. I thought I missed a lot of lines. Where are we at? I thought Ant was very good, but he was very sinister. But he didn't have that unhinged quality that Sasha's got. So really, have you not seen Mark of the Raleigh? That story only makes sense if the master is off his face on ketamine, right? I've decided has to be ketamine. He's speeding out there, which is truly frightening. Ordered was equally impressed. Watching Sasha, well, he is one of the top actors of the age right now. Watching Sasha work out this world, Janet and I had our breath taken away. Okay, because he's experimenting, sort of discovering on the spot. Every time he did a take, he would do something just a little bit different to give the director something else to work with. We didn't do that nowadays. We just trying to not hit the scenery. The two also had a glowing praise of the show's outgoing lead, and welcomed and the welcome they received. Although the experience was slightly dampened, okay, because Jodie Whittaker's shit, so that does dampen it a little bit, and everybody hates this Doctor Who. There was no socializing any type because of COVID. Fielding explains. But the atmosphere was very friendly in our, individual plastic bubbles. Jodie is fantastic. Aldrin enthuses. Fantastic! Oh, I want to flick my button off at her. Oh, she's the bestest ever. The atmosphere she created on set was just so much fun and lively and playful. Okay, so the next words don't make any sense. Okay, they're fun, lively, and playful, and authentic. There's been nothing at all authentic about this performance throughout the entirety of it. I know I've watched a lot of it. I watched it all very, very, and a lot of it very, very closely, and it's diabolical. It's beyond diabolical. So the moments ago, I would say, I'm really sad we didn't get the pages for the regeneration and for Geordie and Mandit's final bits. Oh, so she survives to me and Mandit. They were saying that she gets tissue compressed by the master and then decompressed, which I didn't think was a thing, but okay. We weren't involved in it at all, but it's very moving. Oh yeah, it's so moving. People who couldn't give a shit about dying and hoping they do die. I mean, like, it's not that moving. Joan is so open and her heart so on her sleeve. And it would be really wonderful to be with her, she continues. To be with her? Are we talking about the love that dare not speak its name? What is about Jodie Whittaker that turns everybody into a lesbian? Including men, apparently. To be with her. She was excited as well about the story. As an actor, you get used to moving on, and it wasn't sad at all. It was really a joyous experience, the whole thing, and driven largely by Geordie. Could this have something to do with the the lack of any promotion whatsoever by the BBC? I think maybe. Here's hoping that will shine through and help ensure the first female Doctor has a truly memorable send-off. Well, it will be memorable, but probably not in the way you think. They'll probably look back on it. It's memorable in the same way the Joe Biden president has been memorable, just not in the same way you think. So this month's Doctor SFX magazine. They also have an interview with Session 1. I'm not going to go into it now. If you want to check that out, that'll be on my live stream, which I'm doing, which was last night, which for me is going to be tonight. Very weird, cross-temporal coordinates to work out. But there you go. Are you excited for the power of the Doctor? Nah. Me either. You know who else is not excited? The BBC. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.